host, Nicole, and it's time to share another dark tale.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to check in today to kind of wrap up Women in Horror Month with some recommendations and a few thoughts and talk about what's coming in the next few months here on Chiaroscuro Horror. First of all, I have a few podcast recommendations. Both the Faculty of Horror and Good Morning Nancy are covering Ravenous this month, which is one of my favorite female-directed Women in Horror movies. And I didn't get to talk about it on the Women in Horror episode because the episode just didn't go that way. There wasn't time for it. But I do think that you should check out both of those. Like I said, it's the Faculty of Horror and Good Morning Nancy. Those are both co-hosted by some really smart, fun women. They're both those podcasts where you kind of feel like you're friends with the hosts. So check those out. Also, there's a podcast that's simply called Scary Stories. It's written and produced by a woman. Her name is Verity Clayton. And it's just very simple, just talking about culture and urban legends. But her voice is so great. And it's one of those like low key, kind of slow burn, kind of ambient music podcasts. So check that out. And while we're on the subject of urban legends, I watched the 90s slasher urban legend a couple weeks ago, and I watched it just because I was like, I haven't seen this in a while, and it's a pretty good slasher. So I checked it out, and I was like, this is actually a pretty good watch, I feel like, for Women in Horror Month, because I feel like there's a lot of good female characters in there. It's really female driven. And spoiler alert, just skip ahead about 10 or 15 seconds. But it has a female killer, which even at the time when I saw it when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, this is like really cool and cutting edge to have a female killer. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Mary Lambert directed Urban Legend. I'm not 100% sure, but like as I'm saying this, that popped into my head. So maybe go fact check that, but I'm pretty sure. So check out Urban Legend. Also, I mentioned this on the last episode, but it's not too late to check out Horror Noir. I mean, it's not going to disappear on March 1st, but you got a couple days. Go watch it on Shudder, The History of Black Horror. You will be happy that you did. It's very well put together. And also on Shudder, they just released Eli Roth's History of Horror, which I watched part of that when I was home with my mom because she had DVR'd like just some of it. So we saw like random episodes, not in order. So I sat down day before yesterday and just like binged the whole rest of it. It doesn't get really deep into the history of horror. Like if you're a horror nerd, you probably know most of it already. But let's be real, it's just always fun to watch those, whether you know all the information or not. A lot of good interviews. It's put together really well. My buddies at Straight Chilling Podcast, they said like, oh, you should watch Eli Roth's History of Horror. You don't need to watch anything else made by him, though. And I kind of agree with that. So don't let the Eli Roth label on it like put you off. Sorry, I'm not trying to trash Eli Roth. I'm not a huge fan of his films, but I do really appreciate that he's a nerd like the rest of us. And he obviously loves the genre and he's got some clout to get stuff like this made. So keep doing that, Eli. There is so much out there as far as women in horror content goes. Of course, there's no way I could list it all. And the things I've talked about are just things that are on the top of my head. But a good resource is the Women in Horror Month Facebook group. They have a page and a group. You should go like the page and join the group. And people are posting there daily with their projects for Women in Horror Month. There are filmmakers, photographers, podcasters. I would definitely say go there, support some of these people who are making this great content for the month. And the last thing I want to talk about in this little short episode is just what's coming up next. Because of the structure of the way that I put episodes together, there's not always a good place for me to talk about, news and stuff that's coming up. So And I don't always want people to know what's happening next, but I do have some things coming up that I'm really excited about. So in March, we have The Shining. I'm talking about The Shining, but I'm not talking about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. In March, the episode will be in defense of The Shining miniseries, which if you know anything about it, you know that's a big deal because that movie is just kind of universally panned. Spoiler alert, I love it. So I'm going to be talking about why I love it. Please tune in for that. In April, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm not going to be talking about a film or like a topic. I am going to be sharing a story. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it's something that happened to me on tax day. So tune in on April 15th to hear my tax day story. It is creepy. And then in May, we're going to be talking about Pet Sematary. I didn't think I could do it in April because the movie's coming out in April. So I have to have time to like see the movie, think about the movie, write an episode, record an episode. So it'll be in May, hopefully the middle of May, but depending, it might be more towards the end. So I normally try to release episodes around the 12th, 15th, middle of the month. But I really want to have plenty of time to fully form my thoughts about I'll be talking about the book and the 89 film and the 2019 film. Super excited about that. And then after that, I do not have a plan. When I started this podcast, I planned episodes out about, 6 months. And I was like, I have so much stuff I want to talk about. Getting into June, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm open to ideas. If you have suggestions, like please shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. But I've kicked around talking about my favorite like crushing endings because I love a good unhappy ending. I've also thought about doing an episode on like themes of purgatory and or hell, which that sounds super serious, but there are some good horror movies out there that like you don't for sure know that that's what's happening, but it's a good like theory about, oh, these people are all just in a purgatory. So yeah, so let me know if you have ideas, if there's something that you want to hear about. Email me, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Let me know. So those are my thoughts for today. Those are my rambly thoughts of the day. February has just been a whirlwind. I've been traveling. I've been sick. It's just nonstop, which is like February seems like, oh, not a lot going on in February. There's been a lot going on. So I just wanted to take a minute to collect all of my thoughts floating out there and share them with you guys today. So I just want to end with something that I wanted to put in the episode, but again, I wanted to put so much in that Women in Horror episode, it wouldn't all fit. So I'm going to end with a clip from the Losers Club, a Stephen King podcast. If you guys aren't listening to the Losers Club, you got to listen to it. It's a great podcast. If you're a Stephen King fan, these people they're great. They're going through his books chronologically. So every episode is a book review, and they also cover the film adaptations, and they interview people from time to time. It's great. But they interviewed Mary Lambert for their Pet Sematary episode. And I got to ask a question. They'll put on their Facebook, what questions do you have for whoever they're interviewing? And they chose one of my questions. So I wanted to share that here. The Losers Club was kind enough to give me permission to do so. Thank you guys. I will see you guys in March, and we'll talk about The Shining. Bye-bye.
No, totally. Absolutely. And we got one more reader question for Pet Sematary 1.
Okay.
Although it's more, it could be about it, really anything, to be honest. What unique values do you feel female filmmakers bring to the horror genre? It's so many F's. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of alliteration.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay. I think that the best horror films, for me, the ones I like the best, have some sort of integrity structure, or they're mythic, or they're tied to the world of myth, and they're fables, they're cautionary tales, on one end of the spectrum, or they're about a spiritual quest, or a trip to another realm, the realm of death, basically. And I think, I know a lot of really spiritual men, but I think, that women are particularly suited to explore spiritual ideas, and for a lot of reasons. I mean, women give birth. You for 9 months you've got something there that you can't see.
Yeah.
But you just have to believe in it. You have to believe in that baby that you're carrying, that human being. And there's other reasons too, but I think women are particularly suited to deal with the unseen nature of true spirituality.
Thanks for tuning in. You can find the show on Instagram and Facebook at Light and Shadow Pod. Sign up to become a supporter on Patreon for early access to all episodes and more. Please rate, review, and subscribe to help other people find the show. Until next time, stay spooky.